Thank you. So one of the first questions that I wanted to ask you is, what do you want people in our community to know about you?
Well, for those people that don't know me, um, I funny story. Um, when I was young, I was born here in the States. My parents were at the moment they didn't they were undocumented. Um, so their thought process back in the day: save a little bit of money, go back to Mexico, come back, work, because it was easier back then. From the stories they told me, was as far as crossing the border. With the years, that got tougher and strict, but it was easier, but not that they were doing it the proper way. And the story is, when I was 3 years old, I got to cross the border legally, illegally, because I was born here, but I had to suffer the way they had to suffer at 3 years old. So, um, uh, from what my dad says, I was a heavy little boy, and him having to carry me and go through that, the mountains, and it was pretty hard. But as the time goes by, they were fortunate enough to get their citizenship, and so that's a little bit of my story. Then we moved to Wendover, and I've been here, ever since. So I have roughly 40 years in Wendover. Um, I graduated high school, and honestly, it just I got motivated by seeing some of my family members. They had two jobs. They're just trying to, have provide the best for their family. I went to California. I saw things that we needed, or just got into business that way, and that's how I learned a lot of what I know now. Was small businesses keep on growing, and then just evolving all the time, and um, learning different trades, applying what I learned from my other trade to this trade, and that's how I've came this far. I want to say I didn't go to college, so but I'm a natural hustler. I want to learn stuff. I want to keep on going, keep on providing for my family, and in the way, I've also learned to give back and to do a little bit of community service. That goes a long ways. Um, so yeah, I've been involved in Cinco de Mayo for the past 4 or 5 years. Nick has helped me with that. Nick Flores, my wife Hilda, they've so we've sort of been involved in the community that way, as well.
So, what position are you running for, and what do you know about the responsibilities of running for it?
So I'm running for city councilman. The responsibility is a lot. To tell you that I know a lot, I'd be lying. What I do know is the seat it will be a hard position to fill. Other city council people, in my opinion, have done a great job. You won't know. I don't know about other council members before me, but I don't know how much of the responsibility they plan on having until they get there. So I think until I'm at the city council desk, uh, I won't know the responsibility until it's handed to me, and I know it's going to be a hard position to fill. And I hope I can come with other councilmen councilwomen and do the best for Wendover. I think West Wendover is a great place to live. Like I said, I've been living here for close to 40 years. But we have room for improvement. I graduated in 98. 1998 was the year I graduated till today. We have only a few things from what the public, I'm talking about the public, from what we see. I've seen about seven new things that since I graduated. So we've had, I believe the city hall was officially made, and that's where their new location's at. Prior to that, I still remember going across the post office and paying our utility bills there. Wendover Will, the nice big monument that was placed where it's located at. We've had Beaumark Station, we've had Deep Roots, and we've had Lee's Liquor, and I might be missing something else, but so we've only, we haven't grown that much. Now, I'm for growth, but I'm also for responsibility. Let's grow in a responsible way. Let's, I'm so happy where we're at right now, where the kids can go, from house to house. Parents aren't worried that, we have to really, really check on our kids that much. I've been to Vegas, I've been to California. You try to go to sleep at night and you hear helicopters, you hear the police, the patrols, and so I love the quietness that we have. And so I'm for growth, but let's do it responsible. Let's try to invite the right people, and we can grow.
Okay, so why were you interested in running for city council?
Well, back again, since I graduated in 98, we've been growing, but not to where I think we should be growing. And so that's what got my attention, and just to try to help out. I mean, if I have a little bit of knowledge and I can input it into the city and also learn. I mean, obviously there's a lot I'm going to learn. And so.
So as you talk about growing our community, is there anything else you'd like to accomplish?
Now, accomplishing, do you mean like personally accomplish, or stepping into city council and seeing something else there?
Both, actually. Seeing how you for the community and yourself.
Yeah, so for the community, I would love for there to be, and this will be more, I think, on the recreation center side of it, but I would love for my kids, my grandchild, I would love for there to be more activity for them, a year-round type of sports, something for them somewhere for them to go, some type of activity to keep them there year-round. As far as for the city goes, there's a lot of things in talking to Ms. Durham, or not, well, listening to what they had to say, was, a DMV would be helpful. I know there's a lot of loops that we have to go through. If we can get that and save ourselves 130 miles of driving to go and just to register a car, that'd be awesome. Um, if we can get some type of, I know a lot of people here in Wendover that don't exactly have a transportation to go into town to a doctor's visit, or to get something they might need from a bigger city. But if we had some type of transportation, that would help a lot too.
So, what are you offering our community um, with all your plans? What are you offering that's never been offered before?
Um, I think I'd offer knowledge, just from a little bit from what I know of business. Um, I have a lot of contacts with a lot of people from out of town during my events that I've had. So if I can, if I can offer that, if I can offer anything positive uh, towards growing, I'd offer that.
So, as you might have heard that yesterday, there was a school board meeting about students and teachers and just everybody coming back to schools. What's your opinion on it? Do you think it's safe or do you not?
It's it's that's a hard question, but I honestly think that the school board has to see that not everyone has a healthy immune system, and they have to think about those people. Most of us will catch it, and hopefully we'll get over it. But there is that risk that someone can get it and will not. And so right now I believe in Wendover, and I could be wrong, but I think there's 2 cases where people died. That's one too many in my book. And so we don't need more. I believe we can't afford another death for Corona in Wendover if we can avoid it. I do understand that kids want to go back to class, but it's one of those situations. It's hard for me to say, give you a yes or a no. That's the school board, and I think they've already decided to go and move forward on opening. So yeah, I just think we have to be safe. I think, in my opinion, if they're going to do that, they have to some way protect our teachers in a way that is more sanitary, as far as like maybe plexiglass. I know the ventilation thing was a problem. They're going to have to fix that issue. They're going to have to fix that problem if they want our school to properly withstand the COVID.
So, what do you believe is the most important issue in our community that needs to be focused on?
Drug usage. I think that's like the number one thing right now. Under drinking, that's another one, and those are, I think, the two most important things that we should look at.
That's I was about to ask you about drugs. So, what do you think you could do um, to prevent our community to be known as a drug town?
So, there's a lot of, we should have more for our kids, for them to do stuff around here. But honestly, let's go to the cities. The cities, they have a lot of different things for their children to entertain. They have sports, they have year-round sports, they have karate, boxing. You have a lot of things. I don't think it's that as much as spending time with your kids, with one's kids. I think the more time you have to spend time with your kids, the less they will be the less they'll want to go with those people. If you have your conversations with your kids and you talk to them and you know remind them how you know drugs will be offered to you, they will. And as a kid, if that keeps in the back of their mind that your parent has already talked to you and said, hey, you know, this scenario is going to come up, say no because of this and this reason, you know. I have friends that aren't so good. We came up, we were raised the same. For whatever the reason, they took a turn, and I kept on going straight. And you know, I think sometimes it has to do with that. It's the teaching of our parents, is the time that our parents spent with us, that I believe determines, you know, if we fall into drugs or not. So I would say that spending time with your kids at a young age, and then after that, helps uh, helps to where the kids don't fall into that.
So, as you're campaigning, what is your strategy? Do you go out and hang up posters, I guess you say, or do you just use your name to get the votes?
No, so what I did this year, as opposed to 4 years ago, is I did more social media, and I basically what I did was I sold shirts to raise money for my campaign. Um, it could have been easy for me to, you know, go to a company and said, hey, can you sponsor me, or can you donate money towards my campaign? But instead of doing that, I sold shirts. I sold them for $15. I was able to raise about $900, minus the, I think, $400. So I ended up making about five to help for my campaign. And I just basically went and posted signs around town, around family and friends' homes. And so that, to me, by doing that, I got more interaction. A lot of people that bought my shirts to support me are out of town people, but not just because they're from out of town. That they still have roots here in Wendover. So by me being proactive, so you know, on social media and posting them, that got more people thinking. And there are people, unfortunately, that maybe can't buy a shirt, but at least it's in the back of their mind that election time is coming, and you know, they, just because they couldn't support me here doesn't mean they can't support me come to election. So thank you to everyone that did buy a shirt, and that really helped a lot because I was able to raise money.
So, um, so is that the only way you've been how can I say? Is that the only way you've gotten the money for your campaigning? Is just social media, or is there companies that are trying to help you as well?
No, just social media and selling my shirts was the way I raised my money.
So, why do you think, out of all the candidates that are running, why do you think you're not better, but why do you think, well, I guess better than the other candidates?
Um, I don't think I'm better. I made a Facebook post a while back saying that I think we all have our strong points. I think I am a little bit more involved with the community. Like I said, I've done Cinco de Mayo. This year we did a due to COVID, we replaced that by doing a little parade with all the cars. I feel like I get a good reading from West Wendover and from Wendover. Every time we have an event, people respond very well, I believe, and so I think that's one of my strong points. I'm pretty sure all the other candidates have their strong point, but like I said, we're all good people. But I think I have that little bit of business knowledge as well. So that I think that those two are my strong points.
Okay, well, that's the end of the questions for me. Ms. Durham, you have anything to say?
Let me call you right back. All right, bye. You have all these teachers like, hey, Durham. It's like, I'm in the middle of class. What are you doing? All right. No. Wow. Robert, that was, or Mr. Trujillo, I just absolutely loved hearing, first of all, your story. And that's what I love, how Fawn always kind of starts out with the personal aspect, because we get to know the person a little bit better. I mean, I teach your daughter, I taught your son, and so I have that connection, but I haven't really known this guy, Robert Trujillo. So I really liked hearing your story. And, I really loved hearing what you said about, well, first of all, keeping teachers safe. Thank you. As we know, we really want our kids back in school. Let me in. But it's a very complicated factor. It's not so cut and dry and simple. But I really loved, especially, your family values. I mean, we've got to get more things for kids to do here.
I'm bored.
We've got to have year-round activities and a variety of activities. But it really comes down to families spending time with their kids. And I know for me, that's one of the things that I've loved about this community, is it is so family oriented in a lot of ways. I feel a lot of us, I feel like through all the different kids I've taught, I feel like I'm a part of their family. So
The thing that he does all the time. What are you doing?
Another thing I failed to mention is, if you notice this town, because sometimes we lack of services. We are a bunch of do-it-yourselfers. You're gonna find a good carpenter here. You're gonna find out a good electrician here. You're gonna find out someone that details vehicles here. We do it all here in town, because the lack of services, and that makes I think that's what makes us a business little town, if you will.
Yeah, no, and I absolutely agree with that, because I know there are multiple people that we have reached out to that it's like, well, we need somebody, because my husband's going to see this.
Yeah.
He is not a handyman.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, the dude can golf.
Golf, I love and hate you.
Yeah, don't give him a screwdriver or you're going to blow everything up. But so we have reached out, like when we needed, somebody to replace our water softener, but then there was another person that was able to do our smoke alarms for us, and another person that has, whether it's a plumbing issue. We just had a gentleman come over. It's like, oh yeah, I can take care of your plumbing problem. And that has been really cool about the town, is there's so many talented people here with skills and trades, and so willing to come over, and it, like, at the drop of a phone call, come over, and it's like, I'm there. So and I do like the idea that you would bring a business standpoint to the community. I loved hearing your ideas about you've got to grow, but it's got to be a responsible growth.
Yeah.
You don't want to grow too big and then have a bunch of empty buildings. You also don't want to grow too big and bring the wrong problems with you. So,
you know, one of the things, and from what I've read in like Yahoo, is Vegas right now is their rooms right now. They're very, very affordable to rent out, and so that is bringing the wrong people. And during, I think it was at Labor Day, there was big fights everywhere during.
What is that? Who you fighting?
In the strips, because again, now you make all these nice affordable rooms being rent, you know, easy access for everyone to rent out, and I mean, fights were breaking up everywhere. So
that's had excellent insight. I mean, it's you make things affordable, but then what are you going to attract with that affordability? That's very interesting, and the fact that you're aware of that is a very valuable insight to have when you're making those decisions on the council, is because it really is a balance of, with everything comes a price, with everything comes a cost, and you need to really look at each situation and ask yourself, what's the counter side to this?
Yeah.
So, but no, this was great. And again, Fawn, I'm telling you, this girl is a natural. She does so well. I just want to commend you again, Fawn, on your interview skills. And I just want to thank you. I want to give you the last word, Mr. Trujillo, as you sign off. Any message you'd like to get out to the voters? Just here's an opportunity to plug yourself and your campaign, and we'll end with that.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Durham. Thank you, Fawn, very much for inviting me to do this interview. West Wendover, don't forget, November 3rd, please vote for me. Para toda la gente que habla español, el día 3 de noviembre, por favor, voten por mí y vamos a hacer los cambios que ustedes quieren, los cambios que se ocupan. Estamos aquí para escucharlos a todos. Muchas gracias. Everyone who is doing a mail-in ballot, again, Robert Trujillo is my name. I'm here for you guys, and I'm here for progress. All right.
Let's practice.
Thank you.
Thank you.